I am getting ready to do my first mural on my mini art museum. I am going with the style of artwork of Romero Britto, but I'm gonna kind of play with that and come up with my own original ideas. So you can see I started this artwork here. This is one of my 2D framed artworks that's on my little museum wall. It's not finished yet, but I was working in paint pen on it. And with the ideas of Romero Britto, which are really bright, bold colors and kind of simple designs. Over here is going to be my first mural, and I decided that I wanted to do jelly print for it to get it started, and then I was thinking about putting like a quote over the top of it when I finish. So this is a jelly plate. If you do want to try this out, you can for one of your murals. Please make sure that you're being very careful with these and that we're taking care of them properly. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the top sheet off. Do not throw this away. It has to go back on when it's done. And then you have to use acrylics for this kind of thing. So I'm going to put a very small amount of acrylic onto my jelly plate. Very small, like a pea-sized amount. Maybe, let's see. There we go. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a brayer. That's this rolling thing here. And I'm going to start to spread it out. You want a pretty light coat of paint. And I'm just kind of playing with it here. So I'm going to put my first coat down. And then, to make it a little more interesting, I think I'm going to go ahead and stencil some things on here. So I'm going to just lay this. I'm going to put some different color paint, which I chose this pinky color. We'll see how this turns out. And then I'm going to go ahead and roll that on. Make sure that you wash the stencils. Make sure that you wipe down the printing plate, the jelly plate. Don't leave everything a mess. Make sure you wash the brayer if you decide to try this out. And if you need help, please ask me. Okay, so I've got my stencil on there, and then I am going to go ahead and I'm going to take my mural wall here, and I like to lift the jelly plate up so I can actually see where I'm placing it. I'm going to put my mural here, and then I'm going to turn my jelly plate over and position it where I want it to be, which I want it to take up most of the wall, so I might have to print a little more. And then I'm going to go ahead and kind of rub the back of it here. And I'm gonna pull it up. Make sure you grab that jelly part as well. Super cool. It did not go all the way down here. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and put a little more paint onto my printing plate and apply just a little more design down here. So I'm gonna reapply the yellow. I'm just working on this small area for the bottom. And again, tiny bit of paint that will go a long way on this. If I can get the paint out. There we go. And I'm just gonna do that small area that I'm gonna need, and it's gonna be kind of a mixed color here because I already had pink on there. Making a slight mess, that's okay. Just make sure you wipe it up. And then I'm going to go ahead and place it into the bottom here where I need to extend my color a little bit. And I'm just going to rub it again. I think I'm going to create a border with that. See if I can get a little bit of that color to come off the top. Remember your back side of your artwork. That you don't want to get paint on it, so make sure you're thinking about what you're doing there as you're placing stuff, that you're not placing it in paint. So there we go. I got kind of a cool mural started, and again, I think what I'm gonna do is create like a quote over the top once that dries. So there's my first 2D artwork started and my first mural started. And let me go ahead and run you through, if you're gonna use this stuff, you can wash the stencil in the sink. That's this. You can wash this in the sink, make sure it gets all the paint off, wash the brayer in the sink, put it all out to dry. And then with this guy, you need to use a baby wipe or a wet paper towel and wipe it down. Let it dry. And then we're gonna put this back on top and make sure this gets back to me. All right. There's also several ways you guys can make murals. You can draw them out, paint them any way you want. This was just an intro to kind of a new idea that you could use if you want to.